Hey guys, it's Chelsea from Little Mountain Ranch. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about my outdoor pantry. There are a lot of things that I produce off of my farm on a day-to-day basis that don't go into my pantry, that just go right into my kitchen and then right into our stomachs. So today I thought I would take you around and show you some of those things on my farm, and this will also give me an opportunity to give you an update on some of the things that are happening on our farm this spring. The first thing I want to show you is probably one of the most important contributors to our homestead, and that is our family milk cow. This is one of our family milk cows. This is Fireweed. Hi, sweetie. And she just calved a couple days ago, and I'll introduce you to her calf in just a minute. But I would say that the dairy cow is one of the biggest contributors to our farm. We get a couple of gallons of milk a day from our dairy cows, which might not sound like a lot, but there's a few reasons for that. One is we do once a day milking, which means that we leave the calf with mama during the day and then we separate at night and we milk in the morning. There are multiple reasons why we feel that this is the best practice for our homestead. We could get a lot more milk if we wanted to pull the calf off, but we just don't want to do that. We also don't grain feed our cows, and so they are grass fed, and they also get alfalfa cubes as well. So that's one of the other reasons why we don't get the 10 gallons of milk that some farmers are getting. But we get cream and milk, and with that we can make sour cream and yogurt and cheese and all of those kinds of items. So for me, the milk cow is probably one of the most important contributors to our homestead pantry. This little sweet girl here, hi sweetie. This is Ember. Hi sweet girl. This is Fireweed's calf, and she is a little heifer calf, and we've decided to keep her on. Hi love. Sorry, I'm completely distracted by her cuteness. For one of our future milk cows. There's a couple reasons for that. One is Fireweed is one of our best milkers. She's an excellent mom. She's had 2 calves for us now, and she's never had an issue at all with calving. And she has a really, really nice temperament. And as you can see, this calf is probably going to be very similar. Isn't she just the sweetest? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Now I want to show you one of our other calves. We actually have recently, you're trying to stand up? Come on, up you get. Up you get. There you go. About 2 weeks ago, we did get another Jersey. This is Bess right here. And with her came this sweet girl here. This is not Bess's calf, but she did come with her. She's a Holstein heifer calf, and she came from a dairy, and then they just grafted her onto Bess. And Bess has adopted her as her baby. Her name's Poppy. Hey, Poppy. Excuse me. What do you think you're doing? What you doing? And this is a little red Angus heifer that we also bought. We are hoping to be able to start a small Angus herd. Hi, sweetie. And she came with Bess and Poppy. Cute little girl. You gotta go out of the barn there, sweetie. Come on. Excuse me. Out, out. Out of the barn. Out you go. Out you go. Good girl. So chickens are another really integral part of our homestead. We get eggs from them, obviously, and we also raise a few batches of meat birds. And our first batch of meat birds comes in on the 24th. And then we are also going to be doing 15 turkeys this year as well. Those beautiful eggs. Thank you, ladies. A bunch of my chickens are already wanting to go broody on me, and I don't want that because then I stop getting eggs. I do have my incubator filled with eggs up at the house, and I will show you some of our new baby chicks we just hatched out the other day too, once we get up there. This is another super important contributor to our homestead. These are our honeybees. They are all holed up on the inside right now because it is still pretty cold here in BC. We have seen a few bees flying around in the last couple days because the temperatures are starting to warm up, but it'll be another few weeks before they really start flying around. We use honey exclusively as a sweetener on our farm. We don't have any maple trees that we can tap anywhere, and we do have some birch trees, but not enough to make it worth our while. So honeybees are the main contributor to the sugars that we have in our pantry. We get enough honey off of a couple of hives in order to last us for the entire year. This year I'm hoping to do some splits. That means actually dividing up the hive and making 2 out of 1 in order to be able to sell a little bit of the surplus in the fall. The other thing that these guys are amazing for is for pollinating all of my fruit trees and my garden in the summertime. My garden is literally buzzing with life in the summer, in part due to these honeybees. My garden is not much to see right now. You'll see that in just a moment. But it won't be long before it will be absolutely bursting with life. That is where we get 100% of our vegetables during the summertime, and we're able to put up a really large amount of veggies out of our garden. So I'll give you a little bit of a pan over. I'm a little bit embarrassed, to be honest, because it looks a little bit rough. But my garden goes up to this fence, comes down there, goes across here, this fence, and then all the way up over here. My raspberry patch is here, and my asparagus patch is right here. This area in front of my greenhouse is where I plant a lot of my herbs. And past this white arch here is my forest garden area, where I have a whole bunch of perennial bushes, berry producing bushes, and fruit trees in this area. I just used some plastic to cover up all of my starts that you can see here. And then there is a little heater down here, and I actually needed to put a second one down here because it was getting so cold and my tomatoes were really struggling. These are all broccoli. They just came up in the last couple of days. You can't see through all the condensation very well, but this is kale and more kale here, and then up in behind I have a whole bunch of cabbages started. One of the kind of desires that's really developed in me over the last year or so has been to be as self-sufficient as possible. Each year is one step closer to that goal for us. So last year we were able to get to the point where we were producing enough hay to not have to buy hay last year, which was really exciting. Now that we have another milk cow in milk, I'm really hoping to get to the point where I'm also making all of our cheese, our cheddar cheese in particular. That's going to take a process because cheddar has to age to get to the point where we're not buying cheddar from the grocery store anymore. But I'm close to that goal, which is very exciting. And one of the other areas that isn't really connected at all to food, but I wanted to share with you anyway, that we are working towards is to have our own power. Dan and I have lived off the grid, like really off the grid, where we didn't have any other power. We've also lived with solar power exclusively. We have been working over the last 4 years since we bought this place, which is on the grid, to get back onto solar power. We buy most of what we buy secondhand. So we've been shopping around for a secondhand power system for the last couple years. And we finally found one that was in our price range and was what we were looking for. So you can see our solar panels behind me here. Dan's going to have to fill you in on all the logistics behind this solar system, what exactly it is and how much it's going to be able to power for us. He's actually in the house right now building our power room in the basement and also doing a bunch of modifications on my food storage space, which I can hardly wait to share with you. That'll be coming up in my next video where we talk a little bit about that and show you what we're doing down there. With the amount of food that we're now producing on our property, we just need more space to store it in, and there's just no way to get around it. This system here is one more step for us towards being truly self-sufficient. I'm not looking to be 100% self-sufficient. There's just a few key areas that I'm looking towards self-sufficiency in my life. Power is one of them, and as much food as possible is one of the other ones. Okay, maybe I'll give you a little sneak peek into what's happening in the basement, because my chicks are down there and I wanted to show you my chicks. All the kids are outside enjoying the fact that it is warm and sunny and bright and beautiful. I promised Dan O'Neill, hi Dan, that I would let you guys see the dogs. And where are they? The dogs are actually another integral part of our homestead because they protect it and keep it safe from predators. Cypress! This is Cypress. This is our male Great Pyrenees. We have not lost so much as a chicken with these dogs here to protect us, hey? And they protect not just the livestock, but the kids as well. So this is Maple, this is our female Great Pyrenees, and the two of these guys make such an amazing pair. I would highly recommend getting a male and female if you're looking at getting two livestock guardian dogs, because they just work super, super well together, and there seems to be less fighting and less territorialism between them. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? Did you want one? You can have one. They love eggs. You gonna take it? You want one? No? I guess he doesn't want an egg. Where you going, Maple? So there you go, Dan. Little peek at the Great Pyrenees. Okay, let's head inside. I was just doing a test hatch to see how our fertility was, and we only ended up with 6 chicks out of the 30 eggs that I put in. So I have the next batch in the incubator right now. Aren't they cute? Look at you, little sweetie. I'm just hatching these to replace some of my older hens, and also to potentially sell. A lot of people are looking for livestock right now, so I thought I would hatch out a few extras for those who are looking. Here you go, sweetie. This is just called a brooder box. It's just, we use a stock water tank and then a heater, and that just keeps it warm enough for them while they're growing. This is my pantry that you have all seen many, many times, and I'm not going to show it in too much detail right now because it is an absolute disaster in there. And that's partly why we're going to be doing what we're doing here. This area here, from the back of the fridge and freezer that you can see right here, all the way over to the cold room, is going to be my new food storage area. And this will be for all of my medical supplies and my dry goods. And then the cold room in the back here, which is an insulated room with a vent to outside to be able to regulate the temperature and keep it cool, will be for my canning, my squash, and my potatoes. This year I'm really planning on upping my game as far as the amount of food that we're producing here on the property. So I need way more space in which to store it. This space over on this side will be the power room. We're going to keep the freezer and the fridge in that space, and that will have our solar battery bank and our power system. We are also going to keep the dehydrators in that space as well, because they do produce a little bit of heat, and we don't want that heat in the food storage room here. And then in this space back here, this will be my grow room space. That is where I am currently growing. This is the space that I am currently growing right now, but we're going to turn this space into a bit more of a professional looking setup than it currently is. I could not be more excited about this. This space that's down here, really, we weren't really using for much. It was just an open space that collected clutter more than anything. So to be able to convert it into usable space is super exciting. This is our indoor wood furnace here. And beside this, we're actually installing a hot water system. This has an adapter to hook up to a hot water tank so that we can be producing our own hot water through burning our wood in our wood furnace during the winter time. We've been collecting up all the pieces that we've needed over the last couple of years to do a lot of these projects, and now we're finally at the point where we can put it all together. I'm really looking forward to sharing the next video with you, which will be more in depth on what I'm doing with my pantry and some of my ideas for the shelving and all the different things that I'm going to be putting in there to make my food storage systems even more functional. And then also I'll be talking more about our solar system and some of our thoughts about solar, because we do have experience having been on solar in the past, and why it is that we're choosing that option moving forward. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye guys.